Rocket Skates, Deftones, Triple J, The Racket. Before that, you heard a brand new single from Amon Amarth, Deceiver of the Gods. New album coming out through Metal Blade later this year. Joey from Hobart texted in to say, Amon Amarth, oh my, could they get any better? Another text from Anonymous that said, hell yeah, fucking Viking metal at its best. Movement Group chucked us a tweet about Amon Amarth to say, no thanks. Wasn't digging it. So we're about to hear a chat I had a few weeks back with Chino Moreno from the Deftones. Now, when I was researching for my interview, the first thing that happened in Google predictive search when I typed in Chino Moreno, you know, it gives you like little kind of predicted things that you're going to type underneath. Chino Moreno wife was at the very top of the list. So I guess I assume from that there's a lot of people out there trying to find out if he's married or who he's married to or what the go is. So I asked him about that to start it off, and this is what he said.
That's weird.
That's the most common thing.
That's kind of creepy. Right?
Yeah, have you always been that sought after by the ladies?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess so. No? Not really. I don't know if I am. I don't know. Is that why that comes up? That's weird. That's funny.
Well, let's get on to talking about the music anyway. So, Koi no Yokan,
okay.
It was definitely one of the most positively received albums of 2012. Did you have a pretty good idea of just how solid an album it was before the press affirmed that?
Yeah, I mean, we when we're working on a record, I mean, we it's pretty much, we sort of know while we're working on it, like, you know, where it's going and how the, you know, how the just how the vibe of it is. And when we were working on it, we were having a really good time. It wasn't a hard record to make at all. You know, it wasn't like, we weren't like stretching for ideas or just whatever. It was like, it was a very good flow. Like we all went in there pretty shortly after touring, the Dominance record, and went right in the studio pretty much. So we came off the road like pretty much energized, like ready to make some new music. So it was a good environment, and we made something that I felt like while we were doing it, like, you know, we'll keep going until you know, like once someone kind of gives a feeling that they're not really into what we're working on, we usually stop working on that idea and move on to the next thing and whatever. So but there wasn't too much of that going on. It was like everything that we were making, everybody was joining in right away. So it felt pretty, you know, like pretty strong from the, you know, from like halfway through it. You know, we felt pretty good about it.
So there wasn't really any songs left behind by the sounds of it?
There was a lot of ideas, but they were very rough sketches. I mean, like we'd write like, you know, like one riff, two riff little ideas, and then I just put them down on tape just to remember them, you know. And some of them we never really got back around to, you know what I mean, just because we got caught up on other ones. And usually we only completely write out the songs that we're going to put on the record. So we actually did like 13 songs, and 2 of them didn't get finished. So the other 11 ended up on the disc.
Would you go as far as saying that you like it's the band's best album yet, or would you prefer to not play favorites like that?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's hard to, you know, I know all of our records they're, you know, just like this record, where it's sort of a snapshot and you know, of this time in our lives. I mean, our other records are the same thing for me, you know. So when I listen to them, it kind of takes me back to that time, and they're all special times. I mean, I can't say, you know, even at the worst times, they're still important times, I guess, you know, in creating the band that we are today. So there's a lot of, you know, it's hard for me to just pick one out as being the favorite, but I think hopefully, you know, we've learned a lot from what we've done over the years too. So I feel like, you know, we're still learning though. We still have better records to make.
Deftones, Swerve City, from their latest record, Koi no Yokan. I got a text from Sam who said to keep it coming. It's helping him with the long drive tonight. That was, as I just said, a newer Deftones song. We're going to listen to an older song of theirs in just a moment. Going to hear a bit more of my chat with Chino. Now, I asked him about, you know, the band's sort of turnouts and touring, because just kind of going off what I could see from photos and videos on the net, it just seems like that the band is bigger than ever before. It just doesn't seem to slow down. It seems like they're just, you know, they defy the growth and decline of trends completely. And yeah, that's what he had to say about that one. Whoops, that was definitely the wrong button.
It's good, man. I mean, I really do feel, like there's been a really great response, and especially the fact that we've been doing this for as long as we have. I mean, this is our 7th studio album, so to see this many people showing up, and it's a lot of new fans too. I've been asking the crowds. I mean, like what people is their first time seeing us, and a lot of times it's half, almost half the crowd that's there, which is really cool to think that that we could that we're still doing this and that people are so interested in it. It's a neat feeling.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have kind of surpassed, having any kind of, I don't even know how I'd say it, like distinction to any kind of trend or musical kind of movement, perhaps.
We'll always, I think, be considered a metal band or a hard rock band or whatever. Our music kind of always has, has always kind of had that element in there, although it's expanded a lot, I think, since when we first started. And but never to really follow any trends, really just to kind of get away from trends, kind of thing. Trying to escape those guidelines or whatever that a lot of times people want to put us in. So I don't know. That's, to us, it's fun, because we're actually experimenting too and learning different things and along the way. So it's kind of great that it's like sort of like on the job experience in a way. Where we get to go out and try different things and do different things, and sometimes they work and it's good.
Boom. It was Deftones with Elite. It's off their 2000 album, White Pony. Dave Smith reckons the band is masters of a sound. I would agree. Now, coming up later tonight on The Racket, going to be chatting to Corey Taylor from Stone Sour and Slipknot, but mostly, in fact, entirely about Stone Sour and their latest album, House of Golden Bones Part 2. Going to hear some brand new stuff from Lynch Martyr, Witch Grinder, Point Below Zero, Dead Kelly, and Asking Alexandria in the next half hour. But we do have one more part of the Deftones interview to get through. Although this is more about Chino's new band that he's in called Palms. It's a project that's releasing their debut album in June. It features 3 of the dudes from ISIS. This is Chino Moreno recalling the story of how things got started.
Probably a couple of years ago. I mean, I've been friends with Aaron, the drummer, for a long time, and when I'm at home, he's like sort of my hiking buddy. We go like do outdoors kind of shit and do a lot of running and hiking and stuff like that. So like we always talking about music and stuff, and I knew that they were working on this stuff, and he asked if I would sing on some of it, and I was like, cool. And then he pretty much gave me the record, and the record is like 6 songs, but they're long. I mean, the songs are really long. So I said, 6 songs, I'll do it. And then after I started it, I was like, wow, this is a lot of shit, because the songs are it's sort of a lot of music there, but yeah, it was fun though. I mean, it was like I said, in my spare time, just having a good time, and just doing something creative with different people. It's always good. It's always a good learning experience.
What can you tell us about the lyrical content for Palms? Is there like a noticeable distinction between the lyrics you write for Deftones and the lyrics on this album?
No, I mean, I don't really do that. I mean, I write whatever comes out of me, so it's going to be the same, whether it's whatever I'm working with, whatever I'm doing. I never sit and look. I have to like approach something differently because it's something else, and I just kind of let it happen organically. Whatever comes out, happens. But a lot of the themes on the Palm stuff is, I mean, it's a lot of like it's pretty soundscapey. So there's a lot of to me, it seems like a lot of the scenes that are set in the music are in sort of just different places, like around the world. Some places, some songs to me sound very cold and so I sort of make the setting of the song to be, in the mountains. Some things are very tropical, some things are very, and it's just, so I kind of just looking at it like different places, around the world, and sort of just put myself in that place and then wrote it from that perspective. So if there's any theme, I think that'd be it. But and I didn't really actually think about that until now. Like I said, the music to me is very cinematic. So I kind of, I hear the song and then I kind of feel like it makes me feel like I'm in a certain place, whatever it is, and then I sort of just start writing from that perspective. And I think I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't even really so much thinking about that completely while I was writing it, but now, in retrospect, I kind of feel like that's kind of what happened.
And do you think the music is going into places and musical territory that hasn't yet been explored by either Deftones or ISIS while they were still kicking?
No, not necessarily. I mean, maybe, but it's not. You know, at the same time, it's not what people expect. It's not like, it doesn't sound like ISIS with me singing on it. You know, it doesn't sound like Deftones with, you know, some other guys playing the music. It doesn't sound like either one of our bands. But at the same time, it's, you know, it's not like we reinvented something. It's you know, sort of us being influenced by other stuff, by our own bands and by, you know, a lot of other music as well. So it's but it's pretty open. You know, it's pretty grand sounding, I think. But it's not you know, it's not so much of a metal record, I would say. You know, it's more of a soundscape, experimentation on soundscape, you know, more than it is you know, a heavy metal record.
So does that mean that there would be a lot more melodic vocals rather than you screaming or anything on there?
Probably, yeah. I mean, you know, there's it's not, you know, completely any one thing, you know, like I said, but no, it's not aggressive at all. It's not like it's not a super aggressive record.